Hey guys, what's up? It's Tony from Mag Monkeys here. Today I've got another takedown and review video for you. Today I've got the Sig 226 by KJW. It has been short stroked, so you can see that it's not going to have a functioning slide catch because of that, but it does increase its air efficiency. I should say its gas efficiency, so that's kind of nice. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing. It's a nice gun, good little race pistol with the short stroking and whatnot. It's got nice sights that are adjustable, somewhat at least, and front sight's adjustable and whatnot. Actually, I should probably look into taking that a little bit. It's a little off center for me, but that's okay. Threaded barrels, so you could add a suppressor, do that type of deal if you wanted to do that. If you were to do that, I'd highly recommend, doing inner barrel to run the length of the suppressor, just get more accuracy out of it. To take this thing down, since it doesn't have a functioning slide catch, you're not going to be able to lock it back. Luckily, a modification was done, so it can just go ahead and slide right off after you turn the lever. The short stroking on this one was done with some washers. It's a pretty good way to do short stroking, that way you have full retention of the spring, I should say. You keep the full spring there, you don't cut down on the spring, which would reduce the power. That's another way to short stroke it from what I understand. However, I believe this to be the better of those two options. So you got your lower receiver here. Everything's been polished, which is kind of nice. It's actually fairly well lubricated already. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good clean, though I did use it this weekend briefly. And anytime you fire these things, you should be cleaning them and lubing them. So, take that out, take that off, push this forward, and then this guy should pull right out. Come on, it's not like a 1911. There we go. Okay. And then got a blue inner barrel here, so obviously some upgrade work's been done to this gun. Man, it's just being a real pain in the butt on wanting to come out, though. Anyways, let's go ahead and start cleaning this here. I really do like this gun. It actually, ironically, even though it's been short stroked, I've been having some issues with it as far as getting all of the BBs out of a mag when I'm kind of dumping rounds quickly. So it just kind of speaks to how old and the mags are and stuff. With newer mags, I tend to not have that issue. There are only a couple of the older mags that are doing this, but it might just be time to replace those mags and use those ones for parts. Yeah. It's a good gun, though. Ergonomically, I do like the Sig. It's just a personal preference thing. I do like them. They're a fun gun to shoot. It's kind of snappy and crisp, especially with that short stroking that's been done to it. Hop-up wheels located right here. I'm actually going to turn that just a smidge. Oh, that's a lot more than I wanted to. Alright. But yeah, it's a good gun, shoots good, it's got decent range and accuracy, especially for it being a KJW and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and clean the barrel out. Anytime you fire rounds to the barrel, you need to give that a good cleaning. I'm not sure if you should for dry fire, not that you should be doing a lot of dry fire with gas blowback pistol. It puts a lot of wear and tear on your parts. But yeah. It's a good little gun. I used it at Arena, actually. There was one day, I think it was like last year, that Matt did not show up when he said he was going to and was going to bring me my primary weapon, and I had this in my other pistol for that day, and I actually ran around and got a ton of kills with this thing that day. So, great gun for stuff like that, for sure. Definitely love it. It's a good, easy modification to make to your gun, the short stroking too. Like I said, it's just some washers there on the spring guide, held in place by the parts that are normally there. So but they are obviously, you can slide them down, it's removable. You do have to kind of like do a little trial and error with how many washers you need to use. And you don't even have to cycle the gun traditionally. You can do it manually with your hand just to see where things are lining up. When you short stroke a gun, you want to make sure that you leave enough room for that nozzle to come back when it's in the fully back position to go ahead and strike forward and get the BB into the chamber. So while the slide doesn't have to lock back, it does need to move far enough back that it can chamber the next round. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems. So, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else about this pistol that's kind of unique. It's a WeTech clone, so a lot of WeTech parts are going to be compatible for it. You can run WeTech mags in this thing. You can run KJ mags in the WeTech, so it's kind of nice to have that interchangeability between pistols, especially if you got a buddy that has like the other one or whatever, and you're both on the field and you're like, hey, I need a pistol mag, bro, and he's like, I got you, bro. You know, that's kind of nice. So yeah, I mean, it's a good gun. I do know that there are some issues with this fitting into like Serpas, Black Hawk holsters and stuff like that. But you know, you can always get a custom Kydex holster for this thing, or use the generic, you know, like the tornado holsters, the nylon ones. Those work really well with it too. I guess you could probably modify like a Black Hawk Serpa to get this thing to fit. It's a little bit wide for the Serpa, so clicking it in to place is I mean, you might be able to force it in there, but then it's not going to come out very easily, which kind of defeats the purpose of using that holster. So, yeah. Trying to think though, you know, it's a good gun. I've been very happy with it for the most part. It's not one that I use too terribly often, surprisingly. The holster issue is kind of what gets me. I really do love running those hard shell Black Hawk Serpa holsters, doing the modifications to it, you know. Could do that. Have chosen not to right now. I'm really still big on my HK45, so. But this is definitely a pistol I'm not ashamed to run. I like it. I keep it around for arena. Eventually this thing might be going back to Chris, who is the original owner of this pistol, but you know, we'll see. I do like OD green, and you don't find that on a pistol too often, so yeah. So putting this thing back together, you're going to put that in. You got that all ready up. We're going to do a little lube, not much, just a smidge here, a very, very light amount. I actually found out that silicone is not the best to use for airsoft guns, just because it kind of tends to have a tendency to get everywhere within the gun, including your hop-up bucking, which is like a big no-no. So I'm looking into some other options right now. My gas gun tech, Matt Clifford, has given me a couple of names, or actually just one right now that he uses that he really likes. So I'll probably honestly just end up going with that, given that he'll probably want to kill me if I don't, given that he fixes all the crap that I break. And everything I have given him will probably need a new bucking if I don't use the stuff that he recommends. Silicone just tends to move a lot around in the gun, which, you know, is great for lubricating the gun, but it's not so great for when you want to keep the hop-up dry, so the hop-up bucking dry. So, you know, you just get everything back in there, go ahead and slide her back on. And then it's not going to lock back, but you're going to hold this back as far back as it'll go. And then you got to kind of play with this a little bit. You're going to get everything in line. And then, there you go. It'll be good to go. So yeah, that's the KJW Sig 226. you know, let me know if you have any thoughts or questions. Feel free to leave a comment on the link below, or the video below. Thanks.